We are
Okay,
loading,
we are
loading.
live
I can
right
share
now.
my screen. Okay, yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Ahmed. Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming tonight. I am very thrilled that we have a lot of first-time guests tonight, and it's always great to see our returning guests as well. Now, before I delve into my opening remarks and talk a little bit about tonight's meeting, I will hand the mic over to our Sergeant at Arms, who is also our awesome Toastmaster of the Day, Megan Wasif. The mic is yours.
Thank you so much, dearest President. Thank you for the introduction, and thank you, everyone. Can you see all my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so as a Sergeant at Arms, my role is so simple. I'm just here to welcome you all and to hope that we will have a good meeting together. But before we start, allow me first to tell you a bit of our deal in that house. So we don't like to call it house rules. It's just like the way we do things differently with Cairo Toastmasters. Cairo Toastmaster is part of Toastmasters International, which is an international organization established over 100 years ago. Spread over, I don't know, 160 something thousand countries, 160 plus countries with more than 600,000 members. And we're so glad to be part of it. And in this community, we are here to share our knowledge and our passion for public speaking and professional development. This Cairo Toastmaster Club is an apolitical, asexual, areligious club, which means that we have zero tolerance for any inappropriate behavior. You're not allowed to be disrespectful, you're not allowed to be violent, or use profanity languages, or even be classist or racist against any of the members or guests in this club. Since we are meeting on Zoom and some of you guys are using their phones, their cell phones, or some of you are using their laptops, we would highly recommend that you put your cell phones on silent so it does not interrupt the speech itself, or it does not interrupt your session. For those of you who are logging from their phone, please try to make it or try to put it on do not disturb mode so it does not disconnect the session when you get a phone call. If we're not talking, normally we put ourselves on mute to allow the room or the floor for that person who is speaking, or the one who has the focus of speech. And when we are in the middle of a speech, we highly ask people not to use the chat box privately or with everyone, so it does not distract those who are talking. It's exactly like we are sitting in a room and people are chit-chatting or having side talks. So to give some respect for those who are in a session, please do not try to talk side talks or do not try to use the chat box while a speech is in place. Thank you so much. I hope the house rules are fit for everyone. And back to you again, our great president.
Thank you so much, Mag. So again, welcome everyone to our meeting tonight. It is such a pleasure to have each and every one of you with us. Now, tonight's meeting will be thoroughly introduced by, once again, Mag, who is our Toastmaster of the Day. But I did want to say, just especially to those who are attending with us tonight for the very first time, that as was previously mentioned, Toastmasters is all about investing in our communication, leadership, and public speaking skills. And it is said that if you invest in your communication skills, you will progress and develop every other aspect of your life. So we hope that tonight's meeting is beneficial to you. We hope that you learn, and we hope that you return if it's your first time with us tonight. Now, if anybody here in Cairo is currently residing in Cairo who is actually considering becoming a member of Cairo Toastmasters Club, Rania, please raise your hand. She's our Vice President of Membership. Yes, raise your hand for us. And also kindly share your email address in the chat box should someone want to contact you for more information after the meeting, or you can privately contact her during the meeting as long as the speech is not in place for more information. Other than that, welcome everyone. Thank you so very much for being with us tonight. And I would just like to highlight that we do have a table topic segment, which allows our members and guests to volunteer and to present a 1 to 2 minute impromptu speech. So please consider doing that in order to improve your public speaking skills. Also, one more thing before I hand the mic over to our Sergeant at Arms. If you could kindly turn your cameras on, that would be great. I know I have a lot of people on my screen with their cameras off. So please turn your cameras on so we could better connect and see each other, because public speaking skills is not just about our communication skills, our verbal skills, which is basically the words coming out of our mouths, but they're also very much about our nonverbal communication skills, which entails our facial expressions, eye contact, posture, body language. So we need to use both in order to better connect on the public speaking level. With that said, again, thank you so much for being with us tonight. We look forward to a prosperous meeting ahead. And I will now hand the mic over to Megan Wasif, our Toastmaster of the day. The mic is yours.
Thank you again, our great president. Thank you so much. And now it's for the part where the party starts rolling, guys. As a sergeant at arms, I forgot to ask everyone, do we have the agenda handy? Like, if you don't have the agenda on you, please check the chat box. It should be over there. Can you all see in the chat box the agenda? So this is the agenda. This is the part where we are going. Hold on. Okay, there you go. So this is the part where we have, or where we talk about all the things that are going to roll during that club or that meeting. Did you receive the agenda, everyone? For those of you who did not receive it,
I don't see the agenda.
Okay, for those of you who did not receive it in the, hold on, who did not receive it privately, here is the agenda once again for everyone else. And there you go. You should have it right now, Muhammad.
Yes, I saw it. Thank you.
Yeah. So now let's start the meeting. But before we start the meeting, I have a small thing that I need to offer for every one of you. Since Toastmaster is all about toasting, so I would like to raise a toast for what's going on in the world right now. Although it's been a hectic year for everyone, don't worry, this is a non-alcoholic beverage. It's just blue for the Toastmaster, that's it. I just love to raise a toast. And if any of you is drinking something like Dina or VJ or anything, you can share with me. Or yes, thank you for raising your glass of water, bottle of water. So let's all raise a toast. Yes, thank you. For the unity in the world that made the COVID make us all come together closer. And thank you for COVID, that now we can have members from all around the world joining us in Cairo Toastmasters meeting for the unity. Okay. So as you can see, allow me again to share my screen with the agenda, so I can share up with you what's going to happen in that meeting. I have too many screens in front of me that I really cannot see where the sharing window is. That's anyhow. Stop. Okay, so there you go. So here's the screen. Can you see this screen?
Yes.
Perfect. So as we said, our club or our meeting today is going to be divided into three main sections. First of all, the theme for our day today is cold. Except for California and other southern countries, we are actually in the northern hemisphere is living in a very high cold weather these days, especially in Cairo. And why do we choose a theme every meeting? Because every speaker who's going to introduce themselves, they have a story to tell that is related to that theme, which is going to be told for each one later on when I start introducing each one of them. So this first, the preamble part is what already happened, where we had to introduce our house deals, and the president gave us a small speech and got introduced to everyone, especially new faces. And now we're going to, for the first section of our meeting, which is the prepared speeches. This meeting today, we have two prepared speakers who are members of our club. And later on, we are going to encourage guests as well as members to take part of our what we call a table topic segment, which is an impromptu speech that has 1 to 2 minutes duration, where you members and guests can share with us any thought according to what our great table topic master has prepared. The third section of the meeting today is going to be about evaluation. And by evaluation, we do evaluate speakers, and as well, we evaluate the whole meeting itself. So we have a general evaluator, and we have two evaluators for each of the speakers who had prepared their speeches. And then we have general evaluator asking his team, which is TT evaluator, meaning that table topic evaluator, a grammarian, a timer, and an accounter. So with no further ado, allow me to introduce each one of the general evaluator team to introduce themselves. Let me start. Okay, now I need to change my screen again and share. Okay, can you now see the presentation? Okay. So as I was saying, the theme of today is cold. And by cold, we don't only mean the weather. Cold can have several aspects. Cold can be cold-hearted people. People sometimes have cold feet, and sometimes it's a cold weather or a cold shower that you can get, or a cold drink. Sometimes you can get a flu, and last but not least, a cold weather. So when our members were asked about what do cold mean to them, our first member, who is our great grammarian, Miss Alia Atiya, when I asked her about cold, she just said, whether it's feeling cold or acting cold, each has, let's say, unique taste. However, both of them are bitter for her. So please put your hands together and help me welcome our great grammarian for today, Miss Alia Atiya, to explain her role during the meeting. Alia, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, our Toastmaster of the day. Would you please allow me to share my own screen? Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. I'll be your grammarian for tonight's meeting. My role is divided into 3 parts. First one is I'm going to be introducing the word of the day, which is going to be very interestingly related to the theme in one way or another, coming up soon. Second part is I'm going to be talking about any improper sentence usage by speakers, evaluators, or table topic speakers, and how we can possibly improve grammatical mistakes in order to better conduct sentences. And the third part is going to be praising outstanding usage of the language, including quotes, sayings, thoughts, feelings, and so on. The word of the day is what is the word of the day? Excruciating. Now, very quickly, I want you to unmute yourselves and pronounce the word with me, so I'm sure that you're all on the same.
Excruciating.
Excruciating. Go.
Excruciating.
Thank you. Awesome. You can mute yourselves now. So, excruciating is an adjective. It means intensely painful. Synonyms include agonizing, intense, severe. So the first sentence example here is, he was starving and the extremely cold weather was excruciating to him, but he was determined to reach his destination. A second sentence could be, she was in excruciating pain, yet she still managed to serve her cold-hearted customer with a broad smile. And now it is your turn for me to make sure that you know how to use the word of the day. Who would like to try putting it in a sentence? Who is the diligent student here who wants to try putting the word excruciating in a sentence? Mr. Gilgin. You are muted.
Right. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. I spent 2 excruciating years in a place called North Dakota, where the weather was so cold. We don't talk about cold. It was 60 below zero. We were freezing there, and we had male, female, and parka. Everybody was in a parka, and they'd walk like ducks. And we had to put a Bolt heater. We had to plug our car in at night. Otherwise, it would freeze and it wouldn't start in the morning. Thank you. Back to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Gilgil. That's a whole story about excruciating, my dear ladies and gentlemen. I think we pretty much know how to use it by now. So I'll basically take note of that, and you'll see me again towards the end, welcomed by the general evaluator to give my grammarian report. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, our great grammarian, for today and for this very easy word that we have to use. So let's give our hands together for our great grammarian. And now next, we do have the next role in our general evaluation segment, which is Mr. Mahmoud. Let me again share my screen. Mr. Mahmoud Shirbini is our timer for today. Can you see my screen, everyone? Okay. And Mr. Mahmoud, when he was asked what does call mean to you, he gave us a very nice story or anecdote that he had to do. Allow me, Mahmoud, to just read it quite fast, and then maybe I would skip some of the details that you explained. He actually sent me a very nice, lengthy paragraphs, but let me start to read it quite fast. His first visit to Europe was around wintertime. Back then, I only heard about freezing weather. I got so excited and challenged myself for a nice cold walk to test how much I can stand it. Upon arriving, which was a late night, I decided to go on this adventure with one of my Greek friends. Once we checked into the hotel, we agreed to set our luggage aside, get ready, and meet in a short while at the reception. The minute I laid my eyes on her, I started to make fun of her penguin look. She was covered from head to toe with such heavy clothes that she looked like an ice ball. From my end, I was that cool dude who's only wearing a slight shirt under a waterproof jacket. The first couple of steps were really breathtaking. We started to walk, and I kept telling her how gorgeous this experience is to me, all the way while mocking her for her layers of coats. 3 minutes down the path, I started to feel my lips sticking together. Yet another moment, and I had that strange feeling spreading to the rest of my body. It was a sensation that I've never had before. Now I knew what it's like to be a turkey tucked in the freezer waiting to be defrosted. I was glued to my shoes. My problem now is how would I go back and tell her with courage that she was right? But apparently I turned so blue that she didn't need to hear that. She yelled at me, "We must return to the hotel at once." It was so obvious that even the hotel manager was scared that I would get a frostbite. Since he told me, "Lucky you, you had survived, Mahmoud. It was an under 10 degrees centigrade." Now I learned never mess up with cold ever again. So now, please put your hands together for our great timer, Mr. Mahmoud Shirbini, to explain his role. Mahmoud, can you unmute yourself, please? Mahmoud?
Can you hear me again?
Yes, now I can.
Okay. Greeting, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmaster. As a timer, my role is to remind all speakers how much time they spent on their speech. I will alert each speaker of the time they have left using the green, yellow, and red color when allowed time is finished. For this night, our first prepared speech, Rania, should be not more than 20 minutes. 15 minutes, I will display green color. 17 minutes, I will display yellow color. And 20 minutes, I will display red color. Second, our prepared speech, Wala. should not more than 10 minutes. While 5 minutes, I will display green color, and 7 minutes, yellow color, 10 minutes, red color. And our segment table topic speakers should no more 2 minutes. 1 minute, I will display green, 1 minute, 30 seconds, yellow color, 2 minutes, red color. And evaluation segment should no more than 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I will display green color, 2 minutes, 30 seconds, yellow color, and 3 minutes, I will display red color. Thank you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, our great timer for today. And now to our great and our what do you call yourself? Our 17, the youngest member of our club, Mr. Gilal Zaki, who's going to be acting our timer for today, our counter for today. And unfortunately, Mr. Gilal excruciated the story that I was about to say about him, about spending 2 years in Dakota. So in order to move forward in the meeting, I would leave the floor to Galal to explain his role and what is he going to do during that meeting. The floor is yours, Galal.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As our counter, I am to note words and sounds that are used as crutch or pause fillers by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I will listen to overused words including and, well, but, so, you know, and you know what I mean. I will also listen to filler sounds including and a lot of, I don't know if you heard that, but I've seen it happening. I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or phrase such as this means. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times that each speaker uses these expressions. I hope that you will all have an awesome time and not an awful time. Thank you. Back to you, sir.
That's a great introduction. Great. Thank you so much, Gilgil. And thank you, our great counter for introducing your role properly. Now comes in the prepared portion of our speech or our meeting, where our speakers have prepared certain speeches for their pathways. By pathways, we mean what? It's a track that Toastmasters has. We have 11 tracks. If you watch the agenda, we have the 11 icons on top of the agenda where you can follow. If you want to go to know more about it, you can either ask our VP of Education, Alia, would you please raise your hand? Or our membership guru, our VP of membership, Rania, would you please raise your hand if you need to know more about pathways and how to be part of Toastmasters pathway sessions, pathway tracks. So our first speaker today is Miss Rania Leila, who's also our VP of membership. But before introducing Rania, allow me first to introduce the very beautiful and decent and gamer who we have in our club, Mr. A.D. Silvermine, or in other words, he was called Amr Doe, because he will be the one evaluating her and he will tell us how he's going to look at her speech. But before leaving the microphone to Amr, when he was asked about cold, he said, I eat ice cream in winter. That's what cold means to him, especially the vegan chocolate from a store in Cairo called Stavola. So please put your hands together for our first evaluator, for our first speaker, Mr. A.D. Silvermine or Amr Doe. The floor is yours, Amr.
Thank you. And I also would like to remind you, it's vegan chocolate, which is much healthier. So choose your food wisely, people.
Didn't I say vegan chocolate? I think I did.
I don't know. I have to stress it anyway. So Rania today is delivering her first project in level 4 of persuasive influence. She needs to deliver an informative speech followed by a Q&A session. In 15 to 20 minutes, she's responsible for managing her time in such a way to have a chance to both give her speech and have a question and answer session. So I have a favor to ask every one of you. As you listen to her speech, please note down any questions you have. We want this to be a rich experience, so I need you to ask her questions, all right? Let's make this fruitful for all of us. Back to you.
Thank you so much, our great evaluator. Thank you, Amr. And now for our first speaker, Miss Rania Leila, who, as Amr was saying, is going to introduce to us one of her projects, who will be taking between 15 and 20 minutes, followed by a QA session. But before handing over the microphone to Rania, I want to introduce her as she replied to me about the cold that she had. She said that, while I do refer to word cold as cold-hearted, and she put us a very lovely quote. I'm so sorry, Rania, I did not understand the word of this quote, but however, I'm gonna read it. It's from a Ferdinand de Saussure. He was an intellect, a Swiss intellect, who said, "I'm almost never serious and always too serious. I'm too deep, too shallow, too sensitive, too cold-hearted. I'm like a collection of paradoxes." And the choice is yours. Thank you so much. Put your hands together, please, for our first speaker, Miss Rania Leila. Rania, we can't hear you. Can you?
Am I audible?
Yes, now you are.
Okay. In a very real sense, we have two minds, one that thinks and one that feels. This quote is for Daniel Goleman. Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, today's speech is about a crucial skill you must have if you want to be in full control of your life. It's life-changing skill. Do you know what it is? Yes, exactly. Emotional intelligence. It's very important, right? Today, we will know more about emotions. We will know how to increase our emotional intelligence. And at the end, we will have Q&A segments when you can ask me some questions and I will answer you to reach the best out of this skill. And now, let's start with emotions. Oscar Wilde once said, "I don't want to be at the mercy of my emotions. I want to use them, enjoy them, and dominate them." And according to 6-Second Organization for Emotional Intelligence, emotions are neurohormones that were released as a response to our perceptions about the world. They focus our attention and motivate us towards a specific course of action. Yes, emotions are data. Emotions are a powerful tool to interact with your inner world and your outer world. And I mean here by your inner world, your true self, true thoughts, true abilities. And of course, it shows you for how much you can control your emotions, for how much you can control your thoughts and your behaviors and actions. And also there is a misconception, claims that there are bad emotions and there are good emotions. And this half right, half wrong. Why? Because nothing called bad emotions. Emotions are data, motivate us and guide us. If you feel some fear in a specific situation, this can save your life. If you feel some anger in a specific situation, this also can protect your life. The key word here is the exaggeration. Too much fear leads to bad consequences. Too much anger leads to bad consequences. Even too much love leads to bad consequences. And here is a question. Why is it so important to know about emotions and to manage them? Number one, It boosts your relationship with people, with the community. Number two, it increases your self-esteem, your self-confidence. It also lowers the levels of depression. It also decreases the chances or increases the chances of handling and tackling critical situations. It boosts your social skills. It's very important, right? And here, how to be smarter and intelligent with emotions. And let's now go back to 1920 with initially Edward Thorndike, 1920, come up with this concept. And it wasn't called emotional intelligence. It was just a publication about the ability to understand and to manage men and women, boys and girls, to act wisely in relationship. Then David Wexler came in 1940 to develop this concept or this theory. And in 1998, 1985, 1986 came, or there are two psychologists came up with this term, emotional quotient, EQ. And then Salovey and Mayer in 1990 came up with a huge article and just came up with this term, emotional intelligence. And at the end, the journalist and the emotional intelligence expert, Daniel Goleman, and his best-selling book, The Emotional Intelligence. And now I need to know, or I need to ask you, are you really emotionally intelligent? Are you? I can see now some faces are requiring, how do we know that we are smarter with emotions or not? And I can help you now. There are some general traits. Some studies show them that as the characteristics of the low EQ people. Number one, they don't understand others' emotions. For God's sake, they don't understand their emotions. How they're gonna understand the others as well? Understanding the others' emotions is the next impossible. Number two, they always play the blame game. They refuse to take any responsibility over their shoulders. They refuse to take the responsibility of decisions and actions. Here's an example. You know, if a wife goes to her husband and say, baby, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, but you are the reason. It was your mistake, it was your fault. Oh my God, you are the source of my anger, blah, 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 blah. Of course, you know the rest of this story, right? Sounds familiar? Sounds familiar for me because I used to. Okay, next. Play the victim rule. They always play this victim rule that they feel always they are misunderstood. Nobody out there understands them. And I know that because they have this confused state of mind. They don't know how to identify their own emotions. Next, what else? They always go for meaningless arguments. They want to vent their frustration to people and feel this sense of power over other people. They always lose their temper very easy. And now the question, how many of these qualities, how many of these characters you have? 1, 2, 4, none? If none is your answer, so congratulations. Congratulations. You are now emotionally intelligent one, or at least know yourself very well. What if you have just 1 or 2 or 3? Now you know that you have to work more and more on your EQ, on your emotional intelligence. And to work more in your emotional intelligence, you have to be familiar with the elements of this skill. According to Daniel Goleman in his book, Emotional Intelligence, he states 5 elements for this skill: self-awareness, self-regulation, and self-motivation, empathy, and social skills. And some people just jump to enhance their skills or their social skills. I want to enhance my social skills with other people, and it's okay. It's okay. But the most important thing is yourself. It all starts with you. So number one is number one for a reason, right? You have to be fully aware of yourself, of your emotions, how you can name them, of your fears, triggers, your values, your strengths, and your weaknesses. You need to be familiar. You need to be fully aware of all these things. And then go to the next step. Each of these elements has a process in general. It's a whole process. And it's by its own. So just go from element 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. And I see now some faces and are gonna say, Rania, for God's sake, what is the emotional intelligence? You just say how to increase it, and people with low. Okay, guys, I'm gonna say that. Just keep calm. I'm about to say it. Sorry. Emotional intelligence is this combination between thinking and feeling, and for optimal decisions or making optimal decisions, and developing that relationship with people. It is this mixture between your mind and your heart and your emotions and intelligence. It is this cognition of your thoughts and emotions and behaviors and actions. Why these three? Because it's the core of how to manage your emotional intelligence. It all starts here, just a thought, and this thought impacts your behaviors or your emotions, and then it influences and impacts your actions. Just imagine with me. Now you are thinking about a very good idea, very good thing, like tomorrow I'm gonna make my dream come true. I'm gonna achieve my ultimate goal. And this beautiful positive thought will impact your emotions. You will feel this excitement, happiness inside you, and you will feel happy. And now this will influence your actions, your behaviors. You will do whatever it takes to reach and achieve your goal. Thoughts, emotions, behaviors, and actions. This is how you can manage your emotions. And now going back to how to increase your emotional intelligence. As I mentioned before, there are 5 elements: self-awareness and self-regulation. This is how you manage your emotions, and self-motivation and feeling empathy. And at the end, you can manage people's emotions as well. You will understand them, know exactly how to deal with them, because you just feel empathy towards them. And just one last small tip. It's called the emotional intelligence model. And this was developed by 6 Seconds Organization for Emotional Intelligence. And it's just 3 letters, K, C, G. Know yourself, choose yourself, give yourself. Know yourself, choose yourself, give yourself. Know yourself, choose yourself, give yourself. Know yourself here answers the question, what? What do I feel right now? What about my emotions? What are my triggers? What are my fears? What about my weaknesses and my strengths? And what I'm gonna do in this situation? In general, you need to stop for some time before responding to a situation or an incident. It's not about reaction. Respond instead of react. And all you need, just 6 seconds, at least 6 seconds. Choose yourself. Choose yourself here answers the how. How many options do you have to reach the goal or to reach your goal? How many options? And after this, pick up the most suitable one and just go do what you want. The third one, give yourself, here means the noble goal. I'm answering the why, the big why I'm doing this, why I just picked up this solution or this option. 10 months ago, my daughter wanted to eat French fries, and I was sleeping. Sure, so she decided to do it by herself. And because she wasn't very experienced in the kitchen, she forgot the oil on the stove. And it got boiling and boiling and boiling and make these flames and these sparks. And in an autopilot mood, she pours water on the boiling oil. And guess what? Boom. It was like an explosion. And it was a very bad thing. She screamed, she got panicked. And I woke up from my sleeping and I screamed as well. I panicked as well. And I said, run! Because fire was everywhere in the kitchen. I've never seen something like this before. And in the middle of my thoughts, confusing state of mind, I heard this conversation. Hey, where are we go? We have to run. What about mom? She's gonna die. Die? Me? Now? Here? No, I'm not ready. I'm not gonna die in that specific way. So I'm trying to collect myself together very fast. And I started to think about the options I have. Number one, to put the fire off by myself. Number two, to call the firefighter, but it will take too much time. Number three, to run out with my life. And with collecting myself together and thinking about the solutions, I just found out that I have to take the risk and put it off by myself. And I recall this video I watched on social media about how to put up a fire without, or a boiling oil fire. And I went to the kitchen getting a cover and covered the pot to prevent the oxygen to reach it. And in just 5 minutes, everything was fine. Of course, I have these burns over my hands, but it's okay. Everything was fine. I was truly proud of myself. Because now I implemented the KCG. I started with what I'm doing, what I'm afraid of, what about my feelings right now, and I have to collect myself together. I put my mind on it. I think about it. Next, see how many options do I have? And I think about it. I just pick up the most suitable one for this incident. And at last, I asked myself this big question: why you did that? And the answer was crystal clear. I said, yes, I didn't want this be like a bad memory to my family members. Two, I didn't want to die like this ever. No, never. That's why implementing these 3 keys will turn your life around, because now you won't just behave in autopilot mode. You will think, you will stop, you will know, identify your emotions, and then respond to the situations. Fortunately, emotional intelligence isn't inborn talent. It's an education. It's an acquired skill. You can learn and earn and master at any time. It's very crucial to understand your emotions and to think about any critical situations and be smarter and intelligent in your emotions. And now, let's go to the Q&A segment. And I'm here to listen to your questions. And I'm glad, or I will be glad to answer your questions. The mic is yours. Thank you.
You can unmute yourselves now.
Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
Is it ever too late to get into this whole emotional intelligence thing? I know that the earlier you start, obviously, the better. But what about for people who have educated themselves later on in their lives, in their maybe 40s or 50s, for instance? Do you think they would still be able to reach the same objectives or acquire the same results as maybe other people who were more educated on the matter earlier on?
This is a very great question. Yes, of course. It's never too late to do anything in your life. You can start now by first reading about this skill, then by just observing, being aware, self-aware of yourself first. You'll be astonished by how many things you just do it in an autopilot mode. It's all about self-observation. It's not about the age. Maybe people in 50th and people in 60th just doing the same thing. It's never too late to learn a skill, especially when it comes to emotional intelligence, because it's life skill. It can turn your life around. You can do whatever you want. You will know more about yourself through emotions. And after you understand every little thing about yourself, you will start looking around and see the whole world around you in a very new perspective. You will feel empathy towards people. Now you will listen deeply to their suffering. Now you can advise them. At least you understand them and you will be there for them. Did I answer your question? Any other questions? Two more questions, please.
Thank you so much for this great speech. I do like it, and you are awesome.
Thank you.
And let me tell you about one step which you told us about it. I think the reward of ourselves is a great step for consistency. But I want to tell you that nothing is easy. Might be difficult at times, so you should be aware of that, so you will not be broken in the middle of the way. So I think this good point for consistency.
Thank you so much, Samir. Yes, there is also first time for everything. There is nothing comes from the first time. You have to practice and repeat what you are doing so to reach your ultimate goal. One more question, please, in just 10 seconds, please.
Okay. In answering Dina, you said that would be fascinated or would be surprised on what autopilot can do to us. And I just want to ask you, is autopilot is always bad? Because I've read a book about building routines, and being autopilot will save us lots of time and lots of thinking on pretty basic tasks, and this is a step in the right direction. So is it a good thing or is it a bad thing?
It's not a good or
I'm
bad
just confused
thing.
right now.
Okay. It's not a good or bad thing about autopilot mode, but not all your reactions are good or are suitable for most of the situations. You know that changing is happens every day. So there are some situations are required some specific reactions, and some other situations are required totally different things. So just depending on your autopilot mode on in reactions, you need to rethink or give it a second thought. I need to now observe myself, and see what I'm doing. How do I react? And after how much time do I really think about it, or just doing it out of habit? And you're gonna be astonished, yes, by the result, because I was there before. I know exactly what I'm talking about, because I just being or increasing my emotional intelligence skill just maybe 3 or 4 years. So it is very recent. I recall everything that happened in my life. And now, thank you so much. And if you have any questions, just please email me or contact me on WhatsApp. I'll be glad to answer all your questions.
Can I ask you a question, please?
Okay, can we just transfer it to the chat box? I can answer you on the chat box because we run out of time. Okay.
All right.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Wow, thank you so much for this enlightening session, our speaker. We really learned a lot. I'm talking about myself, and I hope everyone else has been learning a lot from this session or from this speech. Now to the second speaker of the day. But again, before we introduce our awesome speaker, I would love to introduce the person who's going to evaluate her, which is no one else but our great president, Dina Abu Saif. When Dina was asked about hold on one sec, about cold. She said, at a certain point in my life, I felt cold-hearted towards certain people I was always incredibly attached to. I then came to the realization that this feeling generated indifference, which was in fact much worse than having positive or negative feelings towards a particular person. And she quotes a very nice quote that I'd like to share with every one of you. That says, unfortunately, I couldn't get the author of this quote, but the quote says, the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. Because at least hate is a kind of feeling, but indifference is when you have no feeling towards anyone, and that's where the cold-hearted part comes in. And for her, or for Dina for herself, this is an exemplification of cold-heartedness. I then knew that it was time for me to move on. Now, put your hands together for our great president, Dina Abu Saif, who is going to be evaluating our next speaker.
Thank you so much, Mag, for this warm introduction. Now, tonight, I will be evaluating Wala Osman. She will be delivering a 10-minute speech. The title of her speech will be The Mic is Yours. Her pathway is called Presentation Mastery, and this is her level number 5, which means that it's actually the last project in her pathway. So Wala, congratulations in advance on completing your pathway. Give her a big round of applause, everybody. It is not easy. I am very excited to listen to you speak tonight, and I know it's going to be a great one. So best of luck, and I will now hand the mic over to our Toastmaster of the day. The mic is yours.
Thank you, dear President. And now, before we introduce our great speaker, let me share with you again what she said when she was asked about the topic, the theme of today. Wala said, which screen can you see, guys? Do you see this, the screen with the notes or without the notes?
We can see the screen with the picture.
Wala, there's no notes.
Without the notes, yeah.
Yes, without the notes.
Thank you. Thank you, Ahmed. So Wala, when she was asked about cold, she said, winter is sad. It's lovely, but it's cozy and romantic. Nostalgic and all in one. So maybe this will tell us a hint about what she's going to tell us about all these mixed feelings in her speech. And she said, she added to that sentence, as I get bored of one state and one emotion, winter, despite all its turbulences, still is my favorite. Put your hands together to our great Wala Osman, who's going to talk about The Mic is Yours. Back to you, Wala.
You probably have never seen this in your Toastmasters journey. Someone celebrates their pathway completion twice. Yes, same pathway. I thought I delivered my last speech and we all celebrated. I got all those congratulations messages and I went online to just jump into the next pathway and boom, I still have a project left. But you know what? That's not a problem because now I got to celebrate it twice. But that being said, when you progress more in your pathway and you reach level 5, you realize that it's not easy. It took me 4 months to be able to pull this off. Now, it was moderating a panel discussion. And now I'm reflecting on that panel discussion that I've done. We give you options to either have it in a Toastmasters meeting or outside of Toastmasters, and I chose to do it outside. And this is my reflection. So in this journey, I've learned a lot of lessons, but before we delve into those lessons of moderating a panel discussion, I'd like to show you this video of what we did or the beautiful stories shared in that panel or in that discussion. I've moderated this discussion for 3 months in Caravan Talk, and this is just a glimpse of what happened in these discussions. Go ahead.
Law of attraction is as true as law of gravity. Whatever you throw up will definitely come down. Similarly, whatever you throw to universe, it definitely will come back.
Never to give up. I know it's a very kind of a cliched word now, never to give up, but it is true.
Oh shit, what do I do now?
And this day, I promise myself that no matter what, I will always stand for myself.
Because in playground, I was the richest person. I scored the maximum amount of runs.
And we should leave our comfort zone frequently, more often.
And don't overthink. Act. Go out and run.
Thank you, Mr. Zoom Master. And with that being watched, now let's jump into the techniques that I've learned into how to moderate a panel discussion in a smooth way so that it doesn't become an excruciating experience for you. Let's jump into it. Now you see behind me, we have tasks. I hope you see that. And we have challenging tasks. Starting with the tasks that you have to do as a moderator. I'm going to show you now 2 things and you tell me what I need to start with. What do I need to start with? I'm losing one. Okay. 2, do I need to establish the topic or do I need to introduce my credentials as a moderator? If you think I need to introduce the topic, write topic in the chat box, please. And if you think I should start with my credentials, write C in the chat box. Quickly, go ahead, let me see. Alrighty, we have a lot of people saying C. So I need to start with credentials. And we have Amal saying topic, establishment, it's upside down. So let's start with this. Thank you very much, everyone. Starting with what I think is the right formula, but this is prone to changes. You can do whatever you want, but this is for smooth, movement. I think we need to put this in the first place as the first task you need to do as a moderator. We establish the topic. We have panelists that are going to speak to us about a certain topic. And we have audience. These audience need to know what we're here for. What is it that we're going to speak about? And we'll show that very soon now in an example. So afterwards, we introduce my credential as a moderator. Why am I the one that is the best fit for moderating this discussion? Do I have something that I can add? And it doesn't necessarily have to be something huge. In these discussions that I've done, my credentials were just as simple as sharing my experience related to that topic. So let's put this one here, introducing credentials of the moderator. And then moving on to this one, the next one. Should I start with opening remarks about the topic? Or should I start with introducing, oops, my hands are shaking. So introducing panelists. If you think we should start with introducing panelists, write intro in the chat. And if you think we should start by opening remarks about the discussion, write opening. So intro or opening, which one do you think we should start with? Intro. We have Mirol. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Amal, intro. VJ, opening. Intro. Awesome, people, great enthusiasm. I think we need to first acknowledge the panelists that we're able to come and make it in that place. So putting this here, introducing the panelists is your third step. So I need to go ahead and say, this is whatever, and this is so and so. We're going to jump into the discussion, into the example very soon. But before that, we need to finalize our steps. Do I need to start by asking the panelists the question, or first open my floor? So write opening if you think we should start with that. Or ask if you think we need to ask the panelists. Opening or ask? We have ask, we have opening. Wow, people are, oh right, people are going crazy over this one. So let's see, I think we need to go ahead and start with opening remarks about the topic itself. I'll show you in an example right now. And at the end, we need to ask the panelists. I hope everyone sees this. Otherwise, I'm the only person that sees the steps, actually. Let me get that closer so that you'll see it, because that's a lot of work. Going through that with an example real quick. Hello, everyone. It is great to see you here with us as we speak about interracial marriage. I am Dr. Black, and I'm going to be your moderator for tonight. I have a PhD in anthropology, and I will be very glad to start introducing the panelists. I'm honored to be accompanied by Dr. Dina Abu Saif, who is the president of Cairo Toastmasters Club, a club that has people from all over the world. She's going to give us insight into interracialism in general. And then we have Mr. I actually wrote it on the laptop. I'm gonna have to delete it with alcohol. So we have Madam whatever, that is a marriage counselor, and it's going to give us insight upon that as well. I'd like to start with a quote that says, "Bluebirds fly with bluebirds, red birds fly with red birds." Why do you think humans change their races and marry from different races? Are animals more intelligent than us? This is an important quote to open up our discussion about, and I'd like to hear from Dr. Susan about it. See, this is a very smooth transition between the steps over moderating the discussion. I started with establishing the topic, interracial marriage, introducing my credential. I have PhD in anthropology, which I don't. Introduce panelists, and then opening remarks, then asking questions, and then from there you jump in into, taking it smoothly from one question to another. But then we have to look on that side. Things get excruciating sometimes. I sent in the chat box for 3 people 3 challenges that you're going to face as a moderator, and these challenges I myself faced when I was moderating the sessions. Let's hear from the first one. If I sent you number 1, challenge 1, please unmute yourself and tell me what it is.
Hello.
Hi, Ghada. Go ahead. What's the first challenge?
For what?
What's the first challenge that I sent you on the chat?
Okay, let's see. Just say the name?
Yes.
When I ask about the first challenge.
Yeah, say the name. I wrote challenge 1, ... and then I wrote the name of the challenge.
Ready?
Yes, no worries. So the first challenge is time. Can you give me more insight about that, Ghada? What do you think is challenging about time?
I do believe that people always forget everything related to time. They concentrate about tasks and they forget that they always have limited time for their sake and for the listener's sake.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ghada. That is awesome. That is exactly what I mean by this. It's a huge challenge as a moderator to keep track of time. But again, it is your job. So it is a challenge. But again, that's why we have challenging tasks. It's a task. It is mandatory, but it is challenging. Who has the second challenge? Let me hear. Let me see. Oh, people now are so disciplined, they don't read their chats while a speaker is talking. Awesome, so I'm gonna say the second one, which is, and Ahmed Ala, please unmute and help me out with here. Return to topic. What do you think this means?
Return to topic. I think it means when you run a session, people tend to generalize things and talk about other stuff. So to return to the same topic, I think it's a challenging task for a moderator.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Some speakers are they just love diverting from the topic, not because they are not aware of it, but they have a lot to share. But again, it is your job to get people right on track, because these audience, they are here for just one purpose, which is speaking about that specific topic. Did I send, oh, Mr. Galal, I remember that I sent you the last challenge. Can you help me out here? What is it? What's the last challenge?
Sorry, I'm so busy counting that I'm not following you guys. I'm just looking at your lips and counting the R's and the Ums.
No worries. Can you tell me more about equal time? It is another challenge that we face as moderators whenever we're moderating. Equal time, equal time. What does that entail? Yes.
Well, I can't spend equal time with anybody. It has to be fully with my wife. Otherwise, I'm going to be in trouble.
God, that is great, but it doesn't really have anything to do with moderating a panel discussion. So you need to, thank you, Mr. Galal. You need to, as a moderator, to give everybody equal time. Oh, wait a minute. Probably what Mr. Galal said applies to what we're saying. He has to share his time, like, with his wife, and I think this is it. You have to share that time that you have for the discussion wisely between all panelists. Awesome, awesome insight, Mr. Galad. So here are the tips and tricks in order to make your moderation easy and smooth, so that next time you moderate a discussion, you don't think about the skills needed for that, but rather care about enjoying the moment and learning from the experiences of those people, because these panelists are usually very smart and advanced in their fields. With that being said, I'd like to take a moment to let it sink in. Guys, I think I don't need a proper conclusion, because I'm done with my pathway. Just give me a moment to celebrate this, please. Just give me a moment. And I love to play my favorite song, which is this one. Awesome, great. So thank you guys for this great journey. I am now done, and I'm happy. I don't need to give you a conclusion, as there is nothing stronger than finishing your pathway in Toastmasters. It's been 2.5 years. It's been quite a journey. I love it, and I love each and every one of you. I've learned a lot from you. You have been my mentors, even without noticing it. I've learned from each and every one of you, my Toastmasters members and my guests and all the international guests that we have every single time. And I cannot wait to kickstart another journey in another pathway. Thank you all. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day.
Wow, that was such a presentation. Congratulations, Wala, for everything, for completing your path. I think that's deserve another toast from our blue toast for today. Cheers to the one who finished her pathway. I think she's the only one who finished her pathway twice. So here's to you, Wala. Okay. Now to the next part of our meeting. Well, first of all, allow me to congratulate the two speakers that we had today. We had the great two speeches, so I applaud you both. With all the people that I have with me in the background. So now comes the part where we evaluate or we vote for the best speaker that we had today. And this is how this segment works, is that we ask our great Zoom master of the day, Mr. Ahmed Ale, to give us a poll, or to raise a poll that will be shown for all of you guys who are joining the meeting. And this poll is going to be there for 1 minute, so you can vote for who is your best speaker for today. But before we do that, allow me to tell you what did Mr. Ahmed said when we asked him about code. And again, he had a very nice story that he wanted to share with every one of us. Mr. Ahmed said that when he was in the army, he never thought that how much he would appreciate warm showers back home. Because heat or heated water was only the privilege for officers, not for soldiers. After he came back, he was so traumatized that he decided he will never take a cold shower again in his life. He thought that he already paid his dues, having all the cold showers he can during this 1 year of service that he had with the military. This experience made him so grateful for all the little things in life, like heated water, warm beds, and of course, enough clothes on his shoulder to shield him from fierce winters. Things that he would take for granted in the past before going to the military. So now, Ahmed, I ask you please to raise the poll for voting on who's the best speaker for today.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day.
You're welcome.
The poll will be ready now. Can you see the poll now?
Yes, it is visible, Ahmed.
Okay, great.
It's very close. Very, very close. Come on, guys. More people to vote.
We are 37 members in this meeting and only 24 voted. So we need to reach the 80% mark at least. 3 more votes. Come on, guys.
Okay, it's 76%. So, and no one else is voting. So I guess we can safely end the vote now.
Okay, so we end the vote for the segment of the Best Speakers Award. By the end of the meeting, we were going to announce who won or who is the best speaker for today in today's meeting. That was a race between two really neck-to-neck horses here. So now comes the next portion of the second segment of our meeting, which is the impromptu speeches. As we were explaining at the beginning of the meeting, this portion is opening the floor for both guests and members to take part of that area. Our great table topic master, Mr. Hassan Dia, sent on the chat box for those of you who are interested to be called out rather than putting you on the spot right away. Please send either a private message or even a public message to everyone, so it will make Hassan's job easy to pick who's going to be the speaker for this impromptu section. But before leaving the microphone or leaving the floor to Hassan, let me share with you what he just said about the theme of the day. When Hassan was asked about what does cold mean to him, oops, sorry, that's my bad. I have to introduce first Amal before introducing Hassan. Amal will be the person who will be evaluating this segment. It's not a frequent segment that we normally use in our meeting, but because of this specific project that Hassan has, we need to have what we call a table topic evaluator. So Amal, our great member and the most positive spirited of all, when she was asked about cold, she said, you know what? I hate cold. Be it cold-hearted people or people who has cold feet when they are supposed to take decisions and let you down in an important moment of your life. Cold for her is confusing. because it can mean a flu or it can mean a COVID. This is a very confusing situation that we are living in these days. Even in summertime, Amal prefers a good cup of hot chocolate because it doesn't only remind her of the warmth, it also reminds her of the warmth of family and friendship. So put your hands together and let us welcome Amal for introducing her part. And what are you going to do exactly in this portion, Amal? The floor is yours.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Here's my hot chocolate, as always, my friends. So in this segment, I will be listening. This is an open segment to guests and to Toastmasters members. You can all participate with that. Hassan will be giving you some questions or some codes, and you will have to instantly respond to that. And you'll have from 1 to 2 minutes, and I will be listening. This is what I will be doing. I'll be listening to you, and in the end of that segment, I will be giving you a feedback for what you have done, to tell you how the one positive thing and one thing that you can improve the next time. And that will be it. And I will also be evaluating Hassan as well on his active listening skills. So you two be aware, Hassan. So I will be back in the end, and I will be listening and watching you. Be aware. Over to you. Back to you, Mag.
Thank you so much, Amal. Thank you so much for this great introduction. And now let's introduce our great table topic master of the day, Hassan Dia. But again, before leaving the floor for him, I need to share with you what he just said about cold, the theme of the day that we have. Let me just find the right screen. There you go. So when Hassan was asked about cold, he said cold for him is the lack of energy, which was very creative, by the way, because this was not part of the options that I was giving everyone. For him, he likes summer more because it charges him and makes him feel free from cold. So back to you, our Toastmaster of the day. And I hope every one of you enjoys this impromptu segment. The floor is yours, Hassan.
Thank you, Magid, and welcome everyone to the table topic session. It's your chance to practice your impromptu speaking skills. I will give you a question and you will have 2 minutes to speak about anything about that question. So let's start. We have our first question. It goes to Suha Qutb. So the question is, are you more of a summer person or a winter person? Suha, the mic is yours.
Suha Qutb. Those who know me will definitely say that I'm a summer person. I literally get cold feet in winter. I wear layers and layers of clothes in winter, just hoping that this will do the trick and warm me up. Even if I try to drink hot chocolate like Amal does, it never works. In winter, all I do is move from bed to the couch with my blankets. On the contrary, during the summer, that's amazing. I can't have enough of the warm summer, especially that I'm living in Cairo. And taking a 2-hour drive, I am at the North Coast, sunbathing, enjoying my time with my family by the beach. I really can't understand people who favor winter over summer. I never get them. I mean, yes, if we are living in a country having snow, then I can relate. I can have fun building a snowman and fighting in the snow, but without snow, that's no fun at all. So yes, I am a summer person. So Hakat.
Okay. Thank you, Soha, for that speech. I can relate to that because I'm also a summer person myself. And yeah, and really, I understand the feeling of having to wear many clothes, you know, like many layers of the clothes. And that's, yeah, that's really, it's terrible. I don't like that feeling. And no offense, of course, to winter people. You will have your, your chance also to participate. So let's go to the second question. So are you ready? So the second question is, what does the word cold mean to you? And this question goes to Mo Kamal. Mo Kamal, the mic is yours now.
Sorry, can you repeat the question again?
The question is, what does the word cold mean to you?
Evening, ladies and gentlemen. You can have people that are warm or cold, and people can understand that from the way you look at them. Somebody can be very warm, which means they can look at people and they can have compassion. They look at people and think about the way how we can exchange the knowledge and die empty, which means give everything and seek knowledge. And some people can be very cold, which means they look at taking without exchanging, without giving. I really think we should be the first person. The first person who can be very, very helpful, compassionate with help, with support. Because what happened, you start to look at other people and to look at yourself, and inside you start to love yourself. How lovely to love yourself. So love yourself, it means you wake up in the morning and you have a meeting with yourself. How lovely to have a meeting with yourself. It means you can say to yourself, I want to do something. There's an objective in front of you, but yourself will say, let's do it together. You don't have that echo. It tells you, oh, leave it for another day. No, because you love yourself, and together you achieve a lot of things together. Back to you, Toastmaster. Thank you.
Thank you, Mo Kamal. Thank you so much. And yeah, you shed a light on the importance, you know, and the other meanings of the word cold, other than the physical meaning. And that's what I like. And yeah, it really has emotional meanings other than the physical one. So thank you so much for that. So question number 3 is, if you win a free trip to the North Pole, would you go? And this question goes to Muhammad Abdel Sattar. So Muhammad, the mic is yours.
Sure. Definitely, I want to go. I'm wearing shorts, so I'm in favor of cold person. I like winter. I very much hate summer. It's the humidity, the sweat, the sun, the heat. No, I'm not cold-hearted. I just like cold weather, and there is a big difference. So, a trip to North Pole would be very much my dream. It's just penguins and me. Okay, what else do anyone need? It's, you see the penguins here in Egypt. To meet a penguin, you have to pay like $100. I got to meet them for free in the North Pole, and staying cold and drinking maybe cold drinks, soft drinks, hot drinks. I really don't have a preference in this, but sure, definitely I will go. I haven't really traveled before outside of Egypt, so if my first trip would be to the North Pole, that would be a life-changing experience, sure. And That's it. Back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Muhammad. Wow, you seem to be a penguin lover. So, and yeah, it seems that you really like the North Pole, and if you have the opportunity to immigrate there, you will just go there. But make sure to found a Toastmasters club there, so that we can have joint meetings together. Okay, so yeah, thank you, Muhammad. And let's go to the fourth question. The fourth question is, everyone has a favorite jacket story. What is yours? This question goes to Mireille Wasif. Mireille, the mic is yours.
Hi there. So, interesting enough, I live in the cold. I have snow outside of my window now. So, I might have a lot of stories about my favorite jacket. So, my favorite jacket will be a jacket that I just bought last year. And before this jacket, I was actually super cold. But after bringing this cool jacket, it's like cold for me is no cold anymore. So even if it's minus 60 outside, I can stand outside for about a few minutes, not having any problem. And of course, if you're living in a very wintry country like mine, in Montreal, here in Quebec, Canada, you have to cover everything. So you have to cover your hands, have to cover your ears, and if you want, you can cover also your nose. And it's very suitable right now because all of us are wearing masks. So it comes with the territory of like protecting yourself against the cold. My favorite winter jacket is a black jacket, and I love fur. So people who loves animal, please don't hate me. And my top hat that I put on like goes with my favorite jacket. So, and also my boots goes with my favorite jacket too. So it's super cool. And thank you for asking me this nice question. Back to you, sir.
Thank you, Mireille. Thank you so much. It seems that you really have a cool jacket, and it also seems that it gives you the freedom to go wherever you want in the cold climate in Montreal. So, okay, thank you, Mireille. And then we have question number 5 goes to Uzma Golandas. And the question is, what do you think about cold showers? What do you think about cold showers? Uzma, the mic is yours. Uzma, are you there? Okay, it seems that Uzma is not there. So this question goes to the next participant, Arif Hussein. Arif, are you there? Arif? Arif Hussein.
It seems the participants got cold feet. Got cold feet.
Okay, so now I will give this question to Hussam Tamman. Hussam Tamman?
Yeah,
Mic is
yeah,
yours.
I'm here, but I totally forget the question. Can you repeat
You forgot the question. Okay, let me repeat, please. Okay, the question is, what do you think about cold showers?
Cold showers. Oh. Actually, I find a topic, and I read before that the cold water that we can take it in our shower can really refresh our minds, and you can start your day with this cold water, and it will give you the energy that you require in your day. And if you have something in your mind and you try to think about it a lot of times, and it takes a lot of time here, and it's put in your put it in your head, taking this shower can erase or can remove anything in your head, and you will start thinking again from out of the box, I think. So try to take it. And also, I think we saw before, this is a challenge that someone brings the ice and put it on top of the head of someone in the head, and uh, it's really something. We have an issue. If you can bring your water on top of your head, but I tried before. It's really cool. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Hussam. I like your enthusiasm about cold showers, and I really have to try this one day.
Yeah.
I think it might really help, as you said, in creative thinking. Maybe. Let's try.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Arif.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hussam, sorry. Okay, so the next question is, talk about the coldest day in your life. Talk about the coldest day in your life. And this question goes to VJ. VJ, the mic is yours.
Coldest, thank you, fellow Toastmasters. Coldest day in my life. In Boston, February 2020, the temperature outside is -36. And inside, I had a health condition called shingles, and my body temperature was 120. Hot. Really, really hot. And I tried everything. I tried cold drinks, I tried cold shower, cold water pack. Nothing would bring it down. My body metabolic rate was really, really high. That was unforgettable winter. Winter, usually I have 5 layers, starting from sleeveless to 4 layers, then a sweater, and then a jacket, and gloves, and scarf, and cap. But last winter was horrible experience, even though it was cold, and correspondingly my body was hot. I enjoy cold weather. I, in fact, like cold weather. And whenever I go to India, the temperature there is only 26 degrees centigrade, but the heat is so hot, I dehydrate and faint. So the cold is better for me, but this last winter was horrible cold. Thank you, Mr. Tabletop Master.
Thank you, VJ, for sharing that amazing story. Of course, it was a difficult experience, I know, but thankfully you survived, and I'm really sure that it taught you that how to survive cold weather. So in the future, you will be more resistant to cold weather, hopefully. Okay, thank you. And the next question goes to, let's see, who wants to participate? Any volunteer?
There is Simon in the chat
Please,
box.
if anyone who wants to volunteer, please write his name in the chat box.
Simak wrote that he wants to participate.
Okay, Simak. So here is your question. What if there is no winter at all? What if you live in an equatorial country where there is no winter? Would you like it? Why or why not? Simak, the mic is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Actually, I like the change between seasons. And sometimes we face winter, then we face summer. So this change between the seasons make us enthusiastic and make us live with a change in our life, and like the change and to break the routine. If I was in an equatorial country, I would never like this my life there, because it was only one season, so I couldn't face the change. And in summer I like the change between seasons, and I think that change between seasons that makes our life more interesting and more enjoyable. Back to you, Hassan.
Thank you, Samak, for that. I believe, yes, many people would like the variety. They would get bored if they only live in a country where there is no winter. So I can relate to that. And many people, I'm sure, can relate to that. So the next question.
Hassan, before we go to the next question, how many participants in this segment left?
So let me ask Mr. Timer, how much time do we have left?
I think you have 5 minutes. You need
5 minutes. Okay, so maybe a couple more participants. Only the last two participants. So the next question is, do you have a snowman story? And this question goes to Amr Aldo. Amr, the mic is yours.
I had a feeling you're gonna choose me.
You wrote your name, right?
No, but fine, I can do it.
Okay.
I grew up in Saudi Arabia, which means that snow is a foreign concept to me. It's only something I watch in movies. Snow White, Cinderella, blah, blah, blah. That's where I see the snow. I never, ever saw the snow in real life. But let me tell you something, I never want to see it. I'm already in Egypt and I have 2 blankets, not 1, 2 blankets. And when I teach online in the early morning, I wear a jacket. And I have students from all over the world, from Japan, China, Italy. And they always ask me, why are you wearing a jacket? How cold is it in Egypt? So I go online, I check Google, and then they see 20 degrees. They tell me, 20 degrees? Are you kidding? We wear short sleeves in 20 degrees, shorts, and you're wearing a jacket? I tell them I have Bedouin blood inside. Bedouin blood. I can't handle the cold. And I really want to go back to Saudi Arabia, chill under the desert heat. 40 degrees right now seems like a dream. Just imagine. Do you guys like to go to the swimming pool, to the beach? Yes? Do you? Can I see a show of hands? Can you take a dip in the swimming pool or go to the beach in winter? Can you? If you can, then you are the devil reincarnated. You're not even human, all right? But normal people like me, I like to go to the beach, the swimming pool. I like to eat ice cream and have fun with my friends, go outside. I don't like to hide. I'm scared of thunder. I'm like my cat. I hide under the table when it rains, you know? So please take winter away, bring back summer, and back to you.
Well, thank you, Amr, for that. I can relate to everything that you said because I'm a summer person as well. And so let's go to the last question. The last question is, what was the best ice cream you have ever eaten in your life? And this question goes to Sydney Abdelkader. Sydney, the mic is yours.
Hi, everyone. I didn't really want to answer this question. I wanted to answer the other one about weather. I think we should like really enjoy each season, and not waste time thinking about cold or summer or hot or whatever it is. We're wasting our time. We should like enjoy our time in every season. And the best ice cream I've ever eaten in my life was dark chocolate. I like it. It makes me feel like really calm when I eat it in the winter. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Sydney. I'm also a very big fan of dark chocolate. I really like it. But I didn't try it in ice cream, to be honest. So I will try it next time.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Sydney. And thank you, everyone. This concludes our session. And I will hand the mic over to our Toastmaster of the day, Mr. Magid. So Toastmaster Magid, the mic is yours.
Our great toast table topic master, Hassan, thank you for the very interactive session. I apologize for everyone who has commitments of being a bit late in our agenda. I know we have only 4 minutes left and we're not yet done with our third segment, and in my opinion, the most important part, where we give our evaluations and our feedback to all the speakers who did. So just before our meeting is supposed to end, Galal, are you counting my M's and A's? Because I start counting them right now. We do have this segment right now is going to take a bit more than it was supposed to be on your agenda. So this meeting is expectingly ending by 9:15 Cairo local time, or 9:20 for those of you who would leave at 9 sharp, which is 4 minutes from now. We totally understand your time concerns and commitments, especially if people are coming from other places of the world and you do have other commitments, and it's a bit late for you to stay over until our meeting is adjourned. So our Zoom master,
yes,
would you please give us the poll for who was the best? Should I start with the evaluator first, or this is a hazy part for me? I need your help, our VP of Education. Should I pass the microphone for Amal first? Voting first.
Voting first, sir.
Okie dokie. So now our Zoom master of the day is going to show on the screen the names of participants. But before we do that, can I ask the timer, does everyone qualify for the voting? Okay,
yes,
the poll is
Megan.
already there.
Yes, Megan.
Everyone already qualified for the vote.
Yes.
And you know me, always overthinking the worst possibilities. Yeah, we both know, in between you and me, there's an ocean, cast away in a sea, and it's frozen. I'm exposed, can't you see? All I need is a little warmth.
Come on, people, it's only 60%.
Without you on my skin, without you on my body, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be desperate or pretend that I'm not torn, but I don't want to let go of the things that keep me warm. Without you, I'm just cold. I built a little boat.
Magid, you're going live on YouTube, okay? So good.
You take me home the whole way in your direction.
Okay, in the poll now?
Yeah, we both know, in between you and me, there's an ocean.
Okay, it's been
Okie
70%.
dokie. So thank you, Mr. Zoom Master of the Day, for entertaining us while people are voting and thinking about the best table topic that we had. Now to the last part, as we were saying, which is the evaluation part. And I would love to invite our general evaluator, our great... Stop others' computer from sharing. Is anyone other than me sharing? Okay. I'm sorry, our Zoom master, I have to kick you out. And I'll go with the last but not least, a presentation about cold And I remember vividly that our VP of Education was intrigued by this picture when we were rehearsing this meeting yesterday. And she wanted to know what did Ashraf say about that exact picture. So when Ashraf was asked about cold, he said that, you know what, fun fact, I do shower with hot water. With cold water, I think. With cold water. He showers with water that is not heated. He saw a routine once when he was in Netherlands about a woman waking up every morning, jumping into the freezing lake with ice cubes everywhere. Ever since then, he decided that cold water is a challenge of mind and not of the body. Back to you, our great general evaluator, to introduce the segment of reports. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Megid. So guys, it's already 9 p.m. and we're gonna have to skip the evaluation parts. So I'm gonna request all of the evaluators to send the evaluations directly to the speakers. All right, so send them directly to the speakers, and we're gonna wrap up the meeting very quickly. We're gonna just have the table topic evaluations until the Zoom master prepares all of the certificates of the meeting. So Amal, I'm going to invite you to the floor. Please give us the evaluations of the table topic section.
All right. I will try to be as quick as I can for the sake of time. So I'll jump to the first speaker, Soha. You used very beautiful words like cold feet, and you used it on the literal meaning. You related to what was been said then in the meeting earlier, like the hot chocolate, and you talked very personally to us, and your smile was beautiful. You can work on the vocal variety and the body language. So then Mo Kamal, the body language and the metaphors you used was also very beautiful. Maybe you can work on the structure of your speech. Hamad Abdel Sattar, again, vocal variety was perfect, but just a simple thing, you can use like those 30 seconds before you start your speech, because you were laughing all the time. It was beautiful, but still you need maybe to organize your thoughts before starting your speech. Mirai, it was also a beautiful one. I used vocal variety. You connected with people. You connected with Toastmaster, the table topic master. You shared a personal story. A thing to improve, maybe just keep the camera away from you a little bit so that we can see your body language as well. Hussam, you used your body language while referring to the bucket challenge. And one thing to improve is that you ended suddenly. You ended your speech suddenly. So maybe also work on the structure of your speech. That will help a lot. Vijaya, you shared a very beautiful personal story. It was very informative. And maybe one thing to work on is also the body language. You can use your body more, your hands and everything. But it was a beautiful, beautiful speech. Simak, your eye contact was beautiful, good body language. But I could also recommend you to take those 30 seconds first to construct your speech. And I'm sure Galal has counted loads and loads of ahs and ums for you. I think you will win that counting today. So just take those 30 seconds to construct your speech before starting. Amr, what can I say? Body language, engaging the audience. It was a humorous speech. It was like the whole package of a beautiful, good speech. Yeah, perfect. You're giving me a very hard time to give you a point of improvement. But I can say that you can just end it with it was a beautiful story. You can end it with a grand finale, have a beautiful, strong finale for your story instead of just over to you. It will, yeah. Sydney, you did answer the question, but a recommendation, just please open the camera. This is a public speaking club, so we would like to see you to have the full experience of Toastmasters Club. I don't know whether to evaluate Hassan now or leave it for, just send him the evaluation form. Ashraf?
Go ahead, Yam.
Okay. So your voice was clear. You used easy language, Hassan. Just one thing to improve, you can repeat the question to every speaker and maybe write it down in the chat box. If you already have it, you can just copy and paste it on in the chat box for everyone to know what the speaker is talking about. You can also work on the vocal variety. The eye contact was very good. The active listening, it was perfect. You related with everybody, with the Soha, with Kamal. You either commented on what they've said, and you said whether you had a personal experience with it or not. You have engaged the audience. You had this enthusiasm. But maybe another point of improvement, you can start with a Toastmaster, with a Cairo Toastmaster member before the guests. You have, like Amr, maybe if it was in the beginning, it would have been easier for the guests to know what is it that's going on with the table topics. I tried to be as fast as I can. I hope that was good. Thank you, Ashraf.
Thank you, Amal. So GTA team and all the reporters, please put your evaluations and the report in the chat box. We have to wrap this up. So Zoom Master, is the certificates ready?
Yes, it's ready.
All right, excellent. So back to the Toastmaster of the day to conclude the meeting.
Okie dokie. So now it's time for, where is it? Mr. Tabletop, Mr. Zoom Master, can you please tell us who is the best speaker voted by the members?
Okay. I will share my screen now. Which screen should I share? Yes, that's. So that's the best.
Once again.
It's Wala Osman. Congratulations, Wala. Where is the second one? Okay.
Did you hear that music?
Yes.
Okay. So best table topic speaker was.
Okay. 30. It was Soha Khutab.
Wow.
There was a tie between Soha and Amr, but I figured out that Amr has a lot of best table topic certificates. Yeah. So
and he voted for Soha as well. So yeah.
I think so. So it was fair to give it to Soha.
Congratulations,
Soha.
Congratulations, everyone. And congratulations on this lovely meeting. I think now we have the closing remarks. Am I right, our VP of Education? I think it's about time to close this great session. By a great vote for our 60-second successful meeting concluded. Go Cairo Toastmaster, go. Thank you so much, everyone. And back to our dearest President, Dina. The floor is yours to conclude the meeting.
Thank you so much, our awesome Toastmaster of the day. I think you had a lot to drink tonight, man.
I hope I'm not getting dizzy from this blue drink, yeah?
Yeah, it looks really tempting. I'm worried about you. Wow, that's disturbing. So you guys, thank you so much for a lovely meeting tonight. We do apologize. We were not able to delve into the evaluation segment of the program, which is extremely important because it does provide all our role players with constructive feedback, and we all learn along the way. So we do apologize for kind of falling behind schedule tonight. But otherwise, I think everybody did an extraordinary job. Congratulations to our winners tonight, but really congratulations to everybody who role played, who spoke, who evaluated, who just partook in this incredible meeting. It was such a pleasure having each and every one of you tonight. And we hope that some of you guys who attended Cairo Toastmasters Club for the first time, who actually reside in Cairo, are considering joining our club. Soha, please consider. You have a lot of potential as a public speaker, and congratulations on your award. Also, anybody else in town who enjoyed their experience with us tonight, please reach out, as previously mentioned, to Rania Leila, who was our first speaker and is also, exactly, she has her hands up, and also our Vice President of Membership. Otherwise, it's been great. We look forward to seeing you all very, very soon. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Have a good night.